Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm your host, Derek Lane, for another edition of the Fast Lane, your podcast for success. And welcome once again to all of the Fast Lane friends. Thank you for joining me. And tonight, I believe we're going to have a really great episode. We're going to touch on something that maybe is not talked about a lot, but I think is very important, and that is the value of reading. Okay, so let's buckle in and we'll go to the tab. Okay, so reading is a very important aspect of being a leader and being successful in your life. And, for a lot of people, it may not correlate. You may not get the, why behind, the causation of it. So let's delve into it a little bit here. Number one, reading helps you expand your world. If you've graduated school and college and you're at your job and you're just doing, the same things day in and day out, you're not expanding your mind. You're not helping yourself. I've always talked about the business tapes and podcasts and, the CDs, as it were now. And that is a form of reading, and you should be doing that. But I encourage all of you to be reading more and more. Push yourself a little bit more to be a reader. And what's the saying? Readers are leaders. I believe that. Number one, reading, like I said, expands your imagination. When you open up your world to, someone else's world, there's a lot of teaching in there. It also expands your vocabulary, which is a good thing because words mean things. And sometimes when you know a word, there can be no substitute for its true meaning. So the more you expand your vocabulary, the more your IQ goes up, and the more that you learn, the more you're respected. You can engage with a lot of folks on various subjects and not be left thinking, I don't know what they're talking about. Read is paramount to you. Reading also causes you to gain focus and concentration. And when you're focusing and concentrating, that means you're learning. Your mind is doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it helps everybody around you because you're able to understand more. Reading also improves your memory. Not a lot of people understand that, but it does. Just from implanting words into your mind, it helps with the cognitive part of memory. Reading also helps with communication. Again, we learn words, we expand our vocabulary, and we're able to speak a little more gracious. Occasionally, you can use big words, as I call it. Use big words and, impress your friends and what have you. And least of which, reading is a very cheap way of entertainment. You can go to movies and get spoon-fed these stories, or you can read them for yourself and let your mind play the story. And the nice thing about that is when you're reading, and for the readers that are out there that are going, yeah, hey, Derek, I get it. I read. So, quit preaching to me. That's great. I'm glad you are. But for the readers for the people out there that aren't on a regular reading schedule or, read occasionally, it's time to think about it a little heavier. It's time to think about the reasons why you should read. And again, the entertainment value. I remember an interview with, what's the guy's name? Trudeau, the guy that wrote Presumed Innocent. And he was talking about, when Hollywood made the movie, was he disappointed? And he said, not at all. He said, when they filmed the courtroom scene, they showed the courtroom scene from the left. And that was the way that the director saw it in the story. His mind saw it in the left hand. Everything took place on the left hand. He said, when I wrote the book, my mind saw everything take place on the right. I was looking at it from a right-hand angle. He said, so I understood going into it that there would be some changes, and it was the interpretation of the reader. In this case, the director. He said, I think that's the whole reason that a lot of writers get upset when they make movies from their story, is they don't truly understand that by reading, it's each individual's perception. You set the basis, you set the parameters, but their imagination takes them there. Again, that's the great analogy about reading. James Patterson, great writer, said, I believe we should spend less time worrying about the quality of books children read and more time introducing them to the quality of books that would turn them on to the joy of reading and turn them into lifelong readers. I think that's exactly right. I think you hit a home run with that. Make them want to read more. Make your child want to read more by giving them the right books, the things that are important to them, things that turn them on. Bonding is, in everyone's life, it's an important element of, communication, relationships. It is one that reading can also help with. When the child forms that connection to the parent reading at a young age, and by continually doing that, and then also look at how many, especially women, because I think women kind of started this. They do a book club. They get together and they read. They talk about the book and what it means to them, and that's a very cool idea. And heck, I've even heard that some of them will even have a glass of wine while they do that. Just saying. But also, men can enjoy that as well. Language development is a great way. Again, by reading is a great way to develop your language. Children learn language based on what they hear, and they start to understand the meaning of it. Your literacy is teaching you almost a new language, if you will, but it's really deepening the language that you have. And again, words mean things, so you spur ideas. And you see, all of the stuff I'm talking about, if you're a business person, an entrepreneur, a salesperson, manager, just reading makes you a more well-rounded person. So you can perform your duties better. Again, it's cheap. Your libraries are out there. If you don't want to spend a ton of money on books, and there's some apps out there that will give you local access to your library, where you can download books from your library to your phone. I mean, good Lord, we have really evolved. This is great information to have. Kindle, even Audible books are out there. Just a lot of trails that help you become a more rounded person. Also, reading helps you with fluency. The ability to read with speed and accuracy and expression. The more that you read, the more fluent you become. And the more fluent you become, the more that you can stand on your feet, with any situation. It's not talked about enough, I can tell you that. Overall, let me summarize a lot of this by saying reading makes you a smarter person. You're ingesting the knowledge that a writer has. Now think about this just for a moment. Have you ever met a writer, especially a top-selling writer? A few of us have, a lot of us have, but they're very smart people. They don't become top writers without being very smart. They're giving you their knowledge in the pages they write. If you read them, you can't help but becoming smarter. It only makes sense. Also, reading It keeps you open-minded, keeps you creative, and even fiction. It doesn't have to be, business text or what have you. Reading fiction, there is still knowledge. There's a cognitive understanding of knowledge within books. Also, I want to throw this out at you. Let me just say it. People who read live longer. There was a study done by Yale researchers who studied, nearly 4,000 people older than 50 and found those that read books for 30 minutes a day lived an average of 23 months longer than non-readers. Well, that doesn't sound like a ton, but basically, almost 2 years? Just because you read? That doesn't take in account for your diet, your exercise, your health, any of those factors. Just merely by reading, you can live 2 years longer. Now, what do you think if you add proper diet and exercise and take care of your health on top of reading? Yeah, exactly. Get more out of life. Reading 50 books a year is nearly impossible, right? Nope, it is not. Now, if you're barely reading right now, you don't even want to think about 50 books a year. But if you are, I'm talking to the readers out there right now that are reading, that reading whatever comes to their mind, they read. If you push yourself a little bit, 50 books a year is doable. Okay, so a lot of you say, look, Derek, I don't have time for, all of the reading. I get you. I understand where you're at, and that reading is a good thing, and I can see where it would, make you, a little smarter, garner a little more knowledge. But 50 books, come on. No, I'm telling you, even, look, my schedule is packed. My schedule is packed. I have got something going on every day and every night and every weekend. I've got things going. I've got an agenda. I've got commitments that I have to make. All over the place. When someone asks something of me, it's not because I'm so important that I've got to check my schedule, but it's because I keep myself busy and I keep myself committed that I need to check my schedule. Because if I slow down and I slow down, then there's a lot of people around me that count on me for things, and I would let them down. And plus, I love it. I'm going at the pace that I love. And another little subject, another little topic, but I go at the pace that I love, that I like. I like my pace. And for me, it's just barely on hectic. Not so much hectic where it's just, I'm going to burn out, but I like to push myself a little bit. So, reading is easy. This being Sunday, this is going out tomorrow morning, Monday. My wife and I, we had a commitment to go to, and we did. And on the drive, we listened to audio books. I mean, all right, to be fair, I might have listened to a little Allman Brothers in between, but I still put something on the player that spurred a little thinking, and we both enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it just the same. So there you go. We make our plan, and we work our plan, and it's all good. But bottom line is, readers are leaders. Please read more. Okay, it would definitely be successful for you. Okay, well listen, Fastlane friends,